Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Hal Glanville.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston. Here. Bill Lucan.
Here.
Melissa Niles. Travis Orbach.
Here.
Larry Pratt. Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And a reminder, Council, if you have any conflict of interest on any particular agenda item, please let the Council know before you vote. Can I get a motion to approve an amended agenda? The first item is the current claims, and the new amount for current claims will be $191,489.66. And we get there, if you go to page 9, Misty handed out an updated page. At the bottom of that page, we added a claim to Complete Concrete for $21,853.96. So that's what brings us to the new amended amount of $191,489.66. And then also removing new business item C. That's authorize Mueller Center Facility Director to waive rental use fees. That's been taken care of, so we'll remove that from tonight's agenda. So the two amendments are to change the total for the current claims and removing new business item C.
I make a motion to approve an amended agenda, changing the current claims from $169,635.70 to $191,489.66. On page 9, we're adding a new line item, Complete Concrete, for $21,853.96, changing our overall total to $191,489.66, and removing item C in new business.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd council meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd council meeting.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the bills in between?
I make a motion to approve the bills in between for $268,232.30.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And can I get a motion to approve an amended current claims?
Make a motion to approve an amended current claims to $191,489.66.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Brings us to communications from the public. Do we have anyone that would like to address the council tonight? All right, we'll move on. We do have a 7:10 public hearing. I suspect that our council updates may go a little longer than that, so I'd like to jump ahead and get personnel taken care of. Can I get a motion to approve personnel actions A through F?
I would like to make a motion to approve personnel actions A through F.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. All right. We'll go back up to council updates. The first one is Gary Baker and Frank Maynard, Fall River Emergency Managers. So we're at 7:05 now, gentlemen. It's 7:10.
Talk fast.
You don't have to talk fast. It's 7:10. If you're on a roll, I'll just ask you to pause for a little bit, and we'll go to the public hearing, and we'll come back to you.
That sounds good. We're here annually. We have to meet with all of the governing bodies in the county, with the municipal bodies, and update everybody on the local emergency operation plan, which is the LEOP. That's a private document. It's not for general publications. The City of Hot Springs has a copy of it. And every year in January, we go through it and do the update as needed. Typically, there's not a lot of updates or changes because we don't have any new issues that come up. But if there were to have any of those changes to be made, we would make sure that you got a copy of it to put in your respective book that you have at City Hall. Second plan that I want to talk a little bit about is the mitigation plan. It used to be called the pre-disaster mitigation. Now it's the hazard mitigation plan. FEMA changed the wording on it last year. Our plan expires in 2025. It's on a 5-year cycle. And we've contracted with Black Hills Council of Governments to do the update. And we have applied for a grant from FEMA for the cost of that plan. We received a letter on the 6th of June that it had been reviewed, the application had been reviewed by the state mitigation group, and they forwarded it on to FEMA for funding, for review and funding. With the cuts that the federal government has been doing, and I saw an article that came out about a week ago, there's been some significant cuts in the FEMA funding through the federal government, but typically that process takes anywhere up to a year for approval to do that mitigation plan update. So we'll just kind of cross our fingers and hope our plan gets under the wire and we get funded for it. When we do receive funding, as we did 5 years ago when we did the plan update then, we'll come to the city and ask for a representative, because there needs to be a representative from every municipality and several other entities throughout the county to sit on that planning board to develop that plan. So that'll be coming down the road when we get notification. The last plan I'm going to talk about is the hazardous materials plan. That was updated last year. It identifies all of the hazardous materials sites that we have in Fall River County. And I believe the City of Hot Springs has a copy of that also, as do you have a copy of the pre-disaster mitigation plan. Since it was just updated, it'll be reviewed along with the LEOP come January of 2025 in case we have any new hazardous material sites show up or we lose some due to businesses closing or things of that nature. Questions?
Frank, is that hazardous material plan, is that essentially the deliverable from the SARA Title III reporting?
Yes. Yep. That's where it's derived from. The quantities the quantity thresholds have to be met under the SARA Title III in order for that to be determined a hazardous material site. And if it meets that criteria, then it's added into the book.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you. Thank you for all of your support, and thank you for letting us come and visit with you.
Thanks for all
Thank
you
you.
do.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
We're quickly approaching our 7:10. So if anyone in the public knows a clean joke that they'd like to share with everybody. All right, we're at 7:10, and that brings us to our one and only public hearing to act on the license application from the Hot Springs Elks Club for a special sale alcoholic beverage license application for the Arts and Crafts Festival on June 28th through the 30th, 2024, at Centennial Park, 275 North Garden Street. Is there anyone here from the Elks Club that would like to address this? Come on down.
Can I just stand here?
We need to have you at the microphone so that the people that will watch this online will be able to hear everything you say. So if you'd give us your name, address. Yes.
Okay, my name is Brett Solk. I'm at 1329 Sherman Street. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you spell the words on there?
You bet. S-O-U-L-E-K.
Almost had it, thank you.
Yeah. I'm just here representing the Elks. I was the one that applied for the license, and so they just asked me to be here in case anybody had any questions.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Yep.
Council, any questions?
Is there any difference in how you're going to be functioning from previous years?
Not to my knowledge. I wasn't here last year, but I used to own a liquor license in the state of Oregon for a long time, so they asked me to kind of spearhead this. I think their intention is to just do beer and potentially wine, but probably just beer at this point, maybe some white wine, but...
Anyone else on the council? Anyone from the public?
I don't think there's ever been any incidences that we've had problems with
Not that I've heard of.
during the festivities.
Appreciate you coming down, though,
You bet.
to participate in the hearing.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. Am I
And
good?
it's good to get new blood into the party.
Yep.
All right, well, if there's no other questions from council and the public, let's go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:12. Thank you, Brett.
Yep, you bet. Thank you.
Then I need a motion to either approve, deny, or postpone.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application from the Hot Springs Elks Club for special alcoholic beverage license application for the Arts and Crafts Festival on June 28th through the 30th at Centennial Park, 275 North Garden Street.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Congratulations. On to our next council update. Karen Meston with Christmas in the Hills and Light Up Our Town project update.
Do this the other way now for us challenged people with our height. Hi, everybody. As Bob said, I'm Karen Meston with Christmas in the Hills, and I want to update you on what's happening with the Christmas in the Hills Light Up Our Town initiative. And I just realized that I've been here before talking about this, but it was back in 2015, and I don't see very many familiar faces. So this is probably new to many of you. In your packet, you had a timeline. It's the one with a little bit of color on it. So that might help you if you read through that to kind of get a feel for where we've been. But we actually started in 2015 with this project, and we bought snowflakes, decorations for the lampposts, mainly along the historic area from the police station down to the depot. And then that was in 2015. In 2016, we bought additional smaller snowflakes for expanding down towards Lynn's, Dakota Mart, and out towards Evans Plunge. And that's because the snowflakes over the river could be bigger because we weren't parking underneath them, but the other snowflakes we had people parking underneath, and so we wanted to make sure we didn't have an issue there. We put the project on hold after 2016 because we were expecting imminent road construction. Those of us who've been here since then all remember that we were already talking about lights, the street lights being different. And so we knew that we really didn't want to invest a lot more into decorations until we knew what the structure was going to be that we'd be dealing with. And we also were talking about, I think it might have been the cantilevered sidewalk at that point, which is now the suspended sidewalk. So now that it looks like construction is getting close, we all hope, to being finished, we want to restart this initiative again. We're working on assembling a work group, and that group will consist of the city administrator and any other city employees as needed, Christmas in the Hills members, Keep Hot Springs Beautiful members, any other, not any other, but some other interested community members, and we'll be working with the appropriate city committees as we've done in the past. The work's going to include developing a holiday lighting and decoration plan along with a fundraising plan. And updates to the council will include a proposed resolution, as we've done twice before, once we know what we're doing. And we'll also be implementing the fundraising plan. And all the funds will be deposited in an existing special account, just as we have done before with the city. And the city will make the actual purchases, and they will own all the decorations and lighting that result from this project. Any questions? Okay, we'll be updating you guys periodically, either through the committee reports that happen as we're working with them, or I'll come again, or someone from Christmas in the Hills to keep you up to date on what's happening. Thank you for your time and your attention. And if you find that you do have questions in the future, feel free to contact me, and I'd be happy to have myself or someone else meet with you to answer any of those questions. Thank you.
Council?
Thank you.
Any questions?
Do you have plans for decorating the actual suspended sidewalk railing or anything?
We don't
like
have
that?
plans yet, but that's certainly on our agenda to look at.
Okay.
We've discussed the...
Oh, yes.
Yes. We have explored whether there's electricity there, and there is. So that option is available for lighted decorations. And as soon as we see what it's really going to look like, we can start thinking about what's available.
Awesome.
And ideas are certainly welcome. I mean, we are totally open. Nobody has any, I don't think, any preconceived ideas about what exactly we should have, other than that it should be bright and it should be beautiful. Okay, anything else?
Karen, do you know if any of the existing lights that you have will be reusable, or are you looking to start fresh?
I can't imagine that they won't be. Those snowflakes have stood up really well, is my understanding. They have not had problems with those, and I would think that we can find a place for those, especially as high as our lights are now. Those big, I think they're 5 feet, the ones that we had over the river. They're going to be big enough to be seen. I'm not quite sure what we'll do with the smaller ones, but the sidewalk might be a place, the suspended sidewalk, to put some of those things. So we'll just see.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, our next council update is from Josh Kropinski. Did I say that correctly, Josh?
Yes. We're going to go like this instead, if that's all right with you guys. Yeah, I'm Josh Kropinski. I'm the new executive director for the Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here just to give you a little bit of an update of where we're at. I was hired on the 5th of June and began work on the 6th of June. It's essentially been kind of an experience of trying to get a drink of water through a fire hose with the amount of information coming my way, but we're getting through it. I'd also like to take a second here to publicly thank Olivia Mears for her years of service to the Chamber and to Hot Springs, almost 11 years, I believe. We're grateful for all of that and wish her well moving forward. We are in need of additional staff, and we've got some ads going for that to help kind of supplement our staffing at the Mueller Center. Currently, we've brought over our Depot Visitor Center seasonal staff to help out in the meantime. since we're not being able to utilize the depot at this current point. Our goal is to move that staff back to the depot as soon as water is available to the depot again. I guess the decision was made prior to me starting that water and a bathroom was an important issue at that depot, so we'll stick with that. I would also like to take a moment to thank the chamber, or not the chamber, the council for your support of the storefront pageant that is on the way, or underway, I should say. We have currently 16 businesses that are signed up to participate, which we're thrilled about. The first 10 that signed up did receive gift certificates at Ace Hardware and at Builders First Source to help with some of their costs. But pictures, the before pictures are already starting to come into the chamber, and we're really excited about what that's going to bring. And the judging will take place in early November at the completion of the summer. We had our wine walk and play event, which took place on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Again, I hadn't started yet, so I don't know the specific logistics of that event, but talking to the few businesses I've had a chance to speak with, the ones that participated as wine stops or play stops, we're really pleased with the turnout, the participation from the public, and they're eager to do it again next year. We did have 168 people buy their wine glasses or their water bottles, so participation was high. And anecdotally, I participated in the event, and it was just a lot of fun seeing people walk up and down from one end of town all the way to the other. It was a welcome sight, and it was an enjoyable event. We're in the middle of our 4th of July preparations. We'll have the duck race and the community picnic once again. Duck race, I think the plan is going to be to dump the ducks at the pedestrian bridge at Centennial Park, and then we'll be picking them out at the dip bridge, I believe. Looks like the path will be clear, and we'll have a list of volunteers making sure the ducks make their way down the river. Unfortunately, there won't be a flyover for the parade this year. That paperwork needed to be started 6 weeks prior to the actual parade day, which would have been the middle of May, and it didn't get started. So we will miss out on a flyover this year, but I'll make sure to have that back for the following year. Finally, we'll just talk real briefly about the Hot Air Balloon Festival. Preparations for that are ongoing. We're going to enter a phase now where we're meeting weekly. We have 22 balloons, 22 pilots coming, so we're happy with the turnout. We wanted a number somewhere between 20 and 25, so we're in good shape there, and sponsorships are really starting to come in now too. So currently our budget has the festival squarely in the black, and I think that won't be difficult to maintain at all as we move through the final stages of planning. Should be a great event, and we're really looking forward to that. Any questions?
Does the chamber do the parade?
No, we do not do the parade.
Who does Rotary?
Rotary and Greg Berry is the contact for the parade.
We have a question at City Hall, so thank you.
We do have a parade float sign-up forms down at the Mueller Center, so if they want to grab one,
Okay.
Greg will pick those up, completed ones, as we get closer.
Thank you.
Want to thank you for stepping in and taking over where you are, and really appreciate your stepping up for us.
Absolutely, I'm thrilled. I'm excited about the opportunity.
It's a fun place to work.
It is. So far, so good. Any other questions? If not, thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you.
Council, do you have any other questions? I do have a question regarding the balloons.
Yeah.
Are they going to bring the balloons in town for the night glow?
Yes, they're going to be in at Centennial Park, and then we're trying to, I believe, Petra Wilson is also working on coordinating with the State Veterans Home. We want to put the POW and a red, white, and blue balloon up at the State Veterans Home so we don't have to worry about trying to get those guys out and transported down to Centennial. So those will be the 2 locations this year.
Yeah. I appreciate you and the pilots doing that, the chamber and the pilots. That's been received well in the public, having those balloons all over town.
Yep.
And as you just mentioned, the POW balloon and the American flag balloon at the state home.
Yep.
That's really appropriate, and
Yeah, that was front and center at that meeting when we were talking about that. I mean, being a veterans town, we got to make sure we take care of them. So
Yep.
I think those will be great locations. It should work out really nicely.
yeah. And then Misty raised the question about, or both of you, about the parade. Greg was at the construction meeting 2 weeks ago, asking if it was possible to go back to the old route, come down Minnetonka, down Main Street. And all the construction folks in the city were on board with what the road just isn't going to be ready for that yet.
Sure.
So they'll continue to use the 23rd Street down to University.
Yep.
Last year, they went up to Albany and then went, I think, down to Detroit, south down Detroit, and then came back onto 385. This year, Greg had said that they're going to go ahead and turn south at University and get onto Chicago Street. So for the public, the route will be a little different this year. It's not going to go up to 5th Street. It will turn onto 385 off of University, turn south there.
And kind of disperse at the dip bridge, I believe, is what Greg told me.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on to our only ordinance of the night. Can I get a motion for the first reading of ordinance 1258?
I make a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance 1258, the supplemental appropriation ordinance.
Second.
Discussion. These supplemental ordinances, if necessary, we typically do one in the spring and we do one in the fall. And it's to go ahead and fund unexpected items that aren't in that year's budget that come up. So what council has in front of them tonight are those expenditures that they're appropriating additional money for that need to be taken care of. Did I miss anything, Misty?
That's perfect.
Wow, perfect. Thank you for that, but I'm not sure that I reached that goal. All right, if there aren't any questions or discussion, Misty, would you call the roll?
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Travis Orbach.
Yes.
Kyle Glanville.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Linda Barbell.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. On to our resolution. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2024-12?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-12, contingency transfer resolution.
Second.
Discussion. So this is a resolution, every year council sets up a dollar amount in a contingency fund that would fund additional things that, again, crop up that we hadn't anticipated. We can't spend directly out of the contingency fund, council can't. They have to transfer the money into already defined funds. Departments. So that's what this one does, is transfer out of the contingency fund, this particular case, or this year, into 4 separate departments. Any questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to new business. Can I get a motion to approve an agreement for a safety plan compliance document and notice to proceed with Western Construction, Inc.?
Make a motion to approve agreement
safety plan compliance document, and notice to proceed with Western Construction, Inc. to construct a hangar taxi lane extension, 383 feet by 25 feet, and hangar approaches at the Hot Springs Municipal Airport in the amount of $275,127.20.
Second.
Discussion? Bill, is there anything you can highlight for us here?
Okay, this was part of what we budgeted for. The city's portion of this is primarily for the approaches and 10% of the taxi lane. The rest of the taxi lane will either be covered by the bipartisan infrastructure legislation. Thank you, the bill funds. So this money will come out, the Hot Springs City money will come out of the 212 fund. So what the contractor has told us is they are ready to go, and allegedly has about a 10-day construction window. So, just as a side note, we're doing the final inspection for the T-hangars on the 25th of June. So these two projects could be completed about the same time, and we'll be ready to rent T-hangars and collect rent. And we already talked about this a little bit when we selected Western, but they've done a lot of airport asphalt work. So this is not an inexperienced contractor with this type of work. They've done a tremendous amount of work. I think they just did all the runway work up in Wall, I believe. So I think we not only have a low bidder, but I think we've got a very experienced bidder. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
Any other questions? What I had highlighted on this is the notice to proceed. We don't have a date on it. So if council approves this tonight, Misty, then we would date it tomorrow and hand it off?
I believe that the T-hanger final inspection, the engineers will determine a date to put on there as a notice to proceed.
All right. So that'll be KLJ?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business, item B. Can I get a motion to approve and authorize the city administrator to send a letter to the Fall River County Treasurer?
I make a motion to approve and authorize the city administrator to send a letter to the Fall River County Treasurer authorizing the forgiveness of penalty, interest, and fees of $1,122.92 related to the 26th Street Water Distribution Improvement Assessment billed to the state of South Dakota for property located near the State Veterans Home.
Second.
Discussion. So I think it was about a month ago, Misty had received a letter from the State Veterans Home asking about our willingness to do this. We ran it past our attorneys. They said that it would be appropriate. And I think Bob's letter explains well what we're doing here, what you're being asked to consider and approve. Any questions?
So essentially, the bill was sent to Pier instead of to the State Veterans Home, and so they didn't know that they needed to pay this bill. Is that
Yes.
kind of what it comes down to? Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We removed new business item C, so I'll take us to new business item D. Can I get a motion to authorize the finance officer to transfer the 2024 budgeted annual operating transfers?
Make a motion to authorize the finance officer to transfer the 2024 budgeted annual operating transfers from 602 water, $125,000, 604 wastewater, $125,000, and 612 solid waste, $10,000, funds to the 101 general fund for a total of $260,000.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve new business item E, an automatic budget supplement of $16,415.88?
I'll make a motion to approve automatic budget supplement of $16,415.88 to the general fund, library, building repairs and maintenance, 101-45500-42520 for hail damage repair to roof and installation of gutters and downspouts. Revenue received from SDPAA claims, GC 2022-111-390, $9,902.88, and GC 2023-115-933 for $6,513.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve new business item F, an automatic budget supplement of $6,857.27?
I make a motion to approve the automatic budget supplement of $6,857.27 to the Southern Hills Golf Course Fund, Pro Shop, Building Repairs and Maintenance, 602-4510-42520 for hail damage repair to roof and installation of gutters and downspouts. Revenue received from SDPAA claims CG 2022-111-390, $4,811.52, and GC 2023-115-933, $2,045.75.
Second.
Discussion?
I think there's a correction. She'd stated after repairs and maintenance 602, but it should be 620-45130, 42520.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
You got them right on the paper.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
right.
just how I read them.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
It's okay.
And our last new business, item G, can I get a motion to approve a travel training request from the Evans Plunge Mineral Springs front desk attendant, Carrie Mullock?
I make a motion to approve the travel training request from Evans Plunge Mineral Springs front desk attendant Carrie Mullock to attend ServSafe training in Rapid City on June 11th.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Brings us to committee reports. Our first committee report, Administrative and Finance, JR.
Admin, excuse me, Admin Finance met on June 10th at 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Civic Center. In attendance were Mayor Bob Nelson, Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton, Chair J.R. Huddleston, and Gary Telkamp. Old business, number one, additional costs related to water, wastewater replacement, suspended sidewalk, and other road-related project costs, ongoing review and discussion. Excuse me. No new totals to report at this time. Nearing the end of the water, wastewater replacement with large expenses expected to come in. We expect additional bills for signage. Number two, update city job description, update desired minimum qualifications, and add other desired qualification. Remove SDDLIC requirements, update Southern Hills Golf Course work hours, days, description, update rec director, number of hours, title of development coordinator, building operations manager, description updates. Draft changes have been made, but nothing major. The city administrator is reviewing. Number 3, discuss CDL, a training and repayment. Is this necessary and is there interest? We have not had any interest, and so we are going to remove from the agenda. Item 4, Fall River County Dispatch Agreement 2025 and beyond. The committee is in agreement to a 2 to 3% incremental increase, and council agreed. Mayor had asked the Fall River County to appoint 2 people to discuss. Questions still loom on what exactly the county provides to the city. Where does the 911 funding go? Are we double billed for services that 911 funding was supposed to support? Under new business, mayor items, nothing to report. Number 2, city administrators is absent. Number 3, committee member items. Kudos to the city crew working the free dump week, over 100 vehicles a day. Item number 4, review monthly finance officer's report. That's not available. Number 5, 2025 budget prep progress and confirmed dates of meetings, July 30th and August 1st. Misty created spreadsheets for the department heads to use with discussions with the city administrator. Number 6, review and discuss current daycare ordinance, consider repeal. Committee sending back to safety to recommend keep or repeal. Currently have 0 compliance. Number 7, review DOL 2024 overtime exemptions rule changes effective 7/1/24. Threshold for exemptions rising from $35,568, $17.10 an hour, to $43,888, $21.10 an hour, then to $58,656, $28.20 an hour, on 1/1/25. January 1st, 2025. At this time, it affects 1 salaried employee, but will affect 3 by January 1, 2025. Discussions with affected employees necessary and is ongoing. The meeting adjourned at 2:05 p.m. Next meeting is July 8th at 1 p.m. at the Mueller Civic Center. J.R. Huddleston, Chair, subject to your questions.
All right. No questions from council? Thank you, JR. Airport Advisory Committee, Bill?
Airport Advisory met Thursday, June 6th, 8:30 a.m. at the airport. Members present were Shane Miller, Gary Telkamp, and Petra Wilson. Employees present were Airport Manager Ivan Venner, Public Works Engineer Tracy Bastian, and Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton. Elected officials present were myself. Airport tenants present were Anthony Pritzka of South Dakota Wildland Fire. There was no communications from the public. Airport manager update. As I said earlier, the final inspection of the T-hangars is scheduled for June 25th. High Country Erectors continues to work punch list items. The airport manager has been in communication with the door manufacturer and will be generating a maintenance list for the doors based on the vendor recommendations. We're hoping to have rental agreements in effect on or about July 1st. The taxi lane project, you approved those contract documents tonight. In May, we sold 1,686 gallons of aviation fuel. We had approximately 88 flight operations. We had 18 balloon launches and 3 landings. Our current fuel level at the time of the meeting was 5,112 gallons of fuel. A review of the FAA Capital Improvement Plan meeting was, review of that meeting was given to the committee. Hot Springs had a very strong turnout at the meeting and made a very positive presentation to the FAA and South Dakota DOT with the participation, presentation, questions asked, and plans presented. There were no observations regarding opportunities for improvement at the airport, no old business. Under new business, South Dakota Wildland Fire informed us that the 2 seat planes will arrive in late June. They also requested a couple of yards of asphalt millings that are at the airport to fill in some low spots in some parking area so that they can keep their vehicles in the area that they're leasing from the airport. The airport manager will assess that request along with the city administrator. We talked about requests to review the airport address. After looking at that, we feel that there's no need to change the address unless there's new information provided or that the conditions change. Petra talked about the 2024 Balloon Festival, which will be August 23rd through the 25th. At that time, we had 20 balloons registered. They'll be requesting a planning meeting with the airport manager in the coming month. The airport manager reminded the balloon committee that an airport activities application form will need to be completed for the event. We talked about developing a fuel pricing determination process instead of just discussing it at the committee level. So the airport manager will be working on a process to determine when that fuel price recommendation to change that needs to be made. Our next meeting will be Thursday, July 11th, which is a week later than normal due to the July 4th holiday. We'll meet 8:30 a.m. at the airport, and we adjourned at 10:10 a.m. Any questions?
Thank you, Bill. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Travis?
Yeah, the Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District Board met on Thursday, June 6th, 2024, here at the Mueller Center, 7 o'clock. There wasn't anything discussed that pertained to Hot Springs, but at the end, I talked with Jason Hines. We followed up. I sent our Jason a note that I think in this fall they're doing testing for the BioCake, so he should be following up on that to get that worked through. And I apologize, I don't have an exact date for the next one, but I know it's going to be in July.
It's the 11th.
Okay.
And it'll be at the Mueller Center. That's what their website says.
Okay.
The minutes from the last meeting. Okay.
That's all I have.
Any questions?
How exactly do you spell BioCake? BIO/CAKE?
Yeah, just bio and cake.
Frosting on it?
I don't know if it's a slang or if that's an actual technical term for it, but
Okay.
Did you have a question, Hal?
No, I'm just asking if the BioCake had frosting on it.
If it does, it can't go to the landfill.
Depends on the time of year.
Thank you, Travis. Historic Preservation, Deborah?
Historic Preservation met June 5th, 5 p.m. at the Mueller Center. Present were Pat Like, Brian Crawford, Carl Hall, Kara Hagan, Scott Sogi, myself, Mike Summer, Joanne Nekashay, Luke Broyles, Christine Heidebrink. Members of the public were Maria March, Bob Bartley, Linda Long. New business number 1, Joanne Nekashay, Luke Broyles, and Mike Summer were welcomed as new commission members. Number 2, a new mural at 741 Jennings Avenue, which is the kitchen down on the corner of Jennings and North River Street. Maria March presented a mural design for her building, asking it to be approved. The mural would be titled Dancing in the Stars and would have a plaque in memory of Diane Gross, which is one of our passing Hot Springs citizens who was very instrumental in a lot of the murals you see throughout town and other art activities. Rest her soul. The vivid colors help the piece remain bright and colorful even with fading and would complement the bison mural on the building across the street that Maria also painted. Brian made a motion to approve. It also, she has her tattoo, body count tattoo. The door entryway is on that side, and she initially had body count tattoo as part of the mural, but we are making sure that body count is not part of the mural because it has Native Americans dancing with the stars in the river, and we didn't think that was appropriate. And everyone agreed, including Maria. She was stunned when that correlation was put together. So it's a beautiful mural. It'll definitely enhance and be a tribute to Native Americans in our area, and the bison across the street, of course. It'll be kind of a combined thing. So I'm not sure when she'll be getting started on that. And then number 3, 802 Elm Street repairs. It's one of our historic homes. Linda Long was present to discuss the porch columns. This issue was first brought to the commission last fall. She was encouraged to speak with the owner and pursue round columns as opposed to the square to preserve the integrity, the historic integrity of the property. She also asked about replacing the porch deck with the composite Trex material. Scott will make an appointment to go take a look, make recommendations, and follow up with the commission. No action was taken at that time. Under old business, Joanne Nicochet brought a window sample for the Evans Apartments window replacement project regarding the material, and it is a wood composite. Each of those windows are going to have to be made custom on site because all the windows are a different measurement. She's made it was approved. Colors will be presented for approval at a later date. The grant for the approval will be submitted June 12th, and Joanne will provide more information as it's available. Number 2, Historic Property Owner's Guide. Christine has been working on this and will be contacting Liz Omley at the state to obtain the most current version of the Historic Property Owner's Guide to see how we go about obtaining copies and if there are any issues that with us adding to the information to our own packets. Deadwood Grant Fund opportunity for the City of Hot Springs. The city received a grant of $7,500 for humidity mitigation, and the equipment has already been installed. Number 5, CLG grant project options, in-kind forms. It was decided that we would discuss further once we receive more information on availability/cost of information packets. Number 6, discussion on the Seven Sister Mountain Range designation as a point of interest. I relayed that Bob Nelson Jr. is working on the history information and ordering a plaque. Number 7, River Channel retaining barrier wall. I provided an update to the new members. This continues to be ongoing as the railing is removed from the river channel while the suspended sidewalk project progresses. And number 8, deterioration by neglect update. Commission received copies of the letters that were sent to the owner of the property at 611 North River Street and the realtor that currently has the property listed for sale. No other updates at this time. Number 10, pressing for legislative changes to Deadwood funds. We still want to go forward with that. Kara and Joanne will reach out to Trish Ladner to discuss what the next steps should be in writing legislation. Other discussion, Christine inquired about the status of the new columns for the Kidney Springs gazebo. I stated it was my understanding that the city employees had not had time to install them. I believe we have them down at the shop, ready to go, due to the other issues with the construction project. So hopefully we will get those in place soon. We adjourned at 6:25 PM, and our next meeting will be July 3rd, 5 PM at the Mueller Center.
Any questions for Deborah?
Yes, excuse me, yes. Is the mural going to face Jennings or River?
It's going to face the post office.
So you'll see it when you go down, okay.
Yeah, when you're heading west down
Yeah.
Jennings.
Okay.
And I have a picture somewhere here I can show anyone who's interested. It's very pretty,
I'd be interested.
yeah. And as you've seen all over town, Maria does a beautiful job with her murals.
So the columns at Kidney Springs hit a glitch.
Oh,
4 of those columns on the interior of them actually have metal H-beams that they slipped over. So it's a matter of figuring out,
how to attach them?
yeah, on those particular ones. Bob's been looking at a couple options. Originally thought it'd be a matter of, bracing each column, pulling one out and putting the new one in. Well, it can do that for 4 of them, but for the 4 that actually have an metal H-beam supporting the roof of it is going to make that project a little tougher. So,
We couldn't get the other kind sent in place?
we didn't know it at the time that we ordered them.
Okay,
So, they're working that problem.
all right.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
The Evans Plunge Advisory Committee met June 13th at noon at the Evans Plunge. Present were Linda Varvel, Chris Hansen, Tom Nas, Allison Ritterbusch, Maris Smith, Barry McNair, and Gabby Martin. We had updates on the equipment per Tom. The HVAC by the cardio area is up and running. The second HVAC needs replaced, which is an unexpected expense at this time. The main lobby HVAC went down on June 12th, 2024. They're looking at a new steam generator. The double doors on the north side of the building are on the back burner for now. Operations per Chris, we are well staffed at this time, but no facility director yet. Swim lessons per Gabby, first round of completion certificates were handed out. Some students are signed up for a second round of swim lessons to be completed June 27th, 2024. Review of monthly incidents per Chris. 15 minutes prior to this meeting, an elderly man was found floating unresponsive at the bottom of the slide. A lifeguard responded, got him turned over, and when they got to the steps, he was responsive and refusing EMS. We have 2 new guards and 1 certification complete. Other information per Chris, it is not known at this time if the school will continue to attend the EPAC meetings. The next meeting will be July 11th, 2024, noon at the Evans Plunge Mineral Springs. We adjourned at 12:26 p.m. Any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
The second HVAC needs replaced, and then is that the same as the main lobby HVAC?
No. Evidently, there's 3 areas that have separate HVACs, is how it was explained to me.
Okay.
They're just holding their fingers or have their fingers crossed. Yeah.
Well, we put 25% down on one of the HVACs in this batch of claims.
I think that's the one in the cardio area
Okay.
that got replaced and it's up and running.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Linda? Thank you.
Okay.
Parks, Recreation, Beautification, Linda?
All righty. Not all this is minutes, you guys. Parks and Rec, we met at 2 p.m. on June 5th here at the Mueller Civic Center. Present were Linda Varvel, Bob Nelson Jr., Chris Katke, Gabby Martin, Brenda Gamachi, Morgan Fields, Clint Shelton, Jason Midgley, Jason Getch, Alex Nelson, Tim Tesher, Deb Johnson, Gerald Culligan, and Caitlin Mossett. The updates, nothing at the cemetery. Lori was not present. Bart was not present for Parks. Mueller Civic Center, Chris Katke, it is business as usual. They turned on the sprinklers. Lots of events for May. The Energize Conference was sold out. The dance studio recital had a good turnout, and Gabby has filled in with events, and we are holding open gym. Recreation, Gabby Martin, swim and gymnastics classes are nearly full. Roller skating has 16 students to date. We have piano lessons, bowling, and golf going on. The Keep Hot Springs Beautiful Caitlin Mossett, we had 17 volunteers for litter pickup, removing a lot of garbage from various areas of the city, planting some bump outs while waiting on the release of others, working with Tracy on the location of water lines in the Welcome Median, presented a plan for a bench on the north side of Albany Avenue across from Ace, testing out various strings of solar-powered lights for placement in the trees at Centennial Park. New business. Rob Mason on the memorial bench plaque, Chautauqua, information only. The Mason family will come forward when they are ready with a plan. On the community garden, an annual report was presented by Deb Johnson, and it's in here someplace. They have a lot of activities that they've done. They have some more classes coming up and all that. And a University Avenue Memorial mural was presented by Brenda Gamachi, and will be accepted, and we'll forward that to the council. I believe there's a picture of this, Misty, that you have.
Yes, I do have the picture, and it'll be on the next agenda for approval.
Okay.
Acknowledgement.
All right. Yeah, this is the one that has the bison on it. Alex Nelson, he presented Sunday Fun Days. He gave us a poster outlining the activities and the equipment available to enjoy Butler Park at no charge on Sundays throughout the summer. Jason Getch, Butler Park basketball resurfacing and windscreens in the near future. The fence between the courts needs replaced. This project is short of funds and is currently looking to the city for more after their fundraising was short nearly $3,000. Old business, the tree grant update, they are currently working on in the Brookside Park area. The pickleball court resurfacing took 250 man-hours. The court is complete and in use. The grass volleyball court at Butler Park is getting a lot of use. The Butler Park baseball fields, Bob Jr. is working on the batting cage. Deborah asked to restore the walkway around the Legion Field. Irrigating public access along the river adjacent to Centennial Park, no updates. The School Street Park, Clint Sheldon, family had to go with another vendor for the playground. That company was Dakota Playground from North Dakota. Their 501c3 was returned, but they are reworking the application form to resubmit. And this last Friday? Saturday night, they had a fundraiser down here. They had Indian tacos, and they had live music. And I just thought maybe they could have had a better public turnout, but we all had a good time. Tacos were good. On the Seven Sisters Point of Interest site, Bob Jr. is still working on it. Chautauqua Park, Bob Jr. will be meeting with 2 different masons, determining stone versus colored stamped concrete. Public comments, items I asked about were the placement of the basketball poles at Butler Park, about the work the city is doing at Brookside Park. Will areas be re-leveled and rocks be put back where they were? Response was, it is an ongoing project. And will the city be looking into providing dollars for mosquito spraying as needed? And I forgot to write down when we adjourned. We adjourned, I think it was at 12:36, I think it was.
Not necessarily.
Didn't start till 2.
Oh, till 2. 2:36, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, 2:36. And our next meeting will be July 3rd at 2 p.m. at the Mueller Civic Center. Cool. All right.
Any questions for Linda? Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Planning and zoning, Deborah?
We'll be meeting a week later than usual because of Juneteenth holiday. So it will be June 26th, 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Thank you. Public safety, Bill, JR?
Okay, Public Safety met on Thursday, June 6th, 2 p.m. here at the Mueller Center. Present were J.R. Huddleston, Deborah Johnston, myself, and Chief Norton. Members of the public were Gary Telkamp and Ryan Engel. Communications from the public, there was concern over the stop sign that's on 6th Street at the exit of Dakota Mart Gas. The committee commented that it had been previously agreed that that stop sign should be removed, and the city administrator will be notified to take action on that. Chief Norton updated a member of the public on the parking issues at 19th and Jennings near the school. Regarding updates from the police department, the rifles that council authorized have been received. The pistols are being milled and should be received by mid-June. And I think those all have been received now. There was a question brought on what can be done with all the bicycles that the PD collects. South Dakota codified law requires a resolution to surplus or auction them off. The bicycles will be included in the fall city auction. Any remaining bicycles that can then be disposed of at the PD's discretion. The police department has applied for a highway safety grant. This application includes up to $12,000 to cover overtime, wages, and $3,000 in materials, primarily for preliminary breath test units. The purpose of this effort is DUI enforcement. The chief should know by early August if we receive this grant. It is a reimbursement grant, so the PD must work the time, then apply for reimbursement. The PBTs have already been purchased. The overtime is a 100% match. The PBTs are an 80% match. Didn't have any data for you on the April report, but in April, the officers responded to 371 calls, 75 of which were considered high risk. In May, they responded to 647 calls, 77 of which were high risk. Year to date, 18.14% of the 1,929 calls have been high risk. Under old business, there's been no date set for the NIMS training for elected officials. The chief has completed the traffic control sign study, and this study will be reviewed in the July meeting. We had no update for our house number project or the fuels reduction grant application or the backup power grant application. Under the action item for our animal control issues, a plan to address this concern is being developed, and we had no action on the family daycare compliance. Regarding the speed sign, radar sign relocation to 19th and University, the chief is waiting to hear from the state regarding the repair and replacement status and allowable relocation of that sign. Under new business, we were looking at compliance with Chapter 11, or Title 11, Chapter 115, which has to do with licensed transportation companies. Uber is licensed within the city. However, we do need to reach out to them and make sure that their driver has been registered with the city. We also had a question posed to us from dispatch regarding weather restrictions for open burning and fireworks. And the committee reviewed Title 9, Chapter 9306 regarding that. And just as a reminder that if the fire danger is in the southern Black Hills is high, very high, or extreme, or if there's a red flag warning, that no open fires are allowed and that no fireworks may be discharged on July 4th, and that is the only day that fireworks may be discharged. And also, as a reminder to the public, that our ordinance only allows the discharge of permitted fireworks on July 4th from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., and this is limited to stationary cones and fountains and novelty devices. No consumer fireworks legally or illegally sold in the state of South Dakota that are thrown, propelled, or otherwise travel may be discharged. Additionally, no consumer fireworks that explode or provide a report, such as, but not limited to, firecrackers, aerial mortars, bottle rockets, sky rockets, and the like may be discharged. So we're getting close to the 4th, so thought that reminder might be appropriate. We adjourned at 3:03 p.m. Our next meeting will be Thursday, July 11th at 2 p.m. at the Mueller Center. One item that we didn't discuss in the meeting, but wanted to let you know, we're going to take advantage of the Main Street Arts and Crafts Fair and the number of people that may be downtown at that point. And so on Friday afternoon from about 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we'll have a canopy set up in the PD parking lot and have a very low-key coffee with the cop and council member chat. So we'll have a table and chairs set up and cooler full of bottled water only. So if anybody wants to come by and talk to the chief or talk to a council member, I'll be there. And so if any other council members, up to 3 of you, would like to stop by, and any members of the public wants to come by and talk, either as you're coming or going to the Main Street Arts and Crafts Fair, you're certainly welcome to do that.
Would you like us to put something on the city Facebook page? about
Yeah,
it?
that'd be great.
Will you send me a little more detail by email so I can get the wording right?
I will.
JR, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, you did good.
All right. Anyone else? Thank you. Public Works, Bill, Hal?
Public Works, next meeting will be June 25th at 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Southern Hills Golf Course. The Southern Hills Golf Course Committee met on June 10th. Members present were Superintendent Happy, Dave Merrill, Colette Miller, Don Olsted, Kathy Vollmer, Greg Berry, and myself. The grounds crew is settling in with their summer chores with the focus on watering. The course is getting dry due to the wind and time of the year. Current ongoing projects are finishing the retaining wall, and the heating and air conditioning contractor is finishing up at the clubhouse. After the HVAC contractor is done, the grounds crew will start hauling in topsoil, plants, and rocks for the top of the retaining wall. So it's coming along. They're probably 95% or more done there. Deborah has asked about staining the wall. They're still working out, how that's going to happen and what colors it may be. What color, not colors. This week, the grounds crew will be aerating and top dressing greens. The Sig family approached the course superintendent about the construction of a memorial bench in remembrance of their father, Ralph Sig. The committee decided the best location for the bench would be between tees number 4 and 7. The next Golf Course Advisory Committee meeting is July 8th, 6 p.m. at the Pro Shop, and the public is welcome. Any questions? We don't have a city administrator, so that brings us to finance officer report. Misty, do you have anything for council?
Yeah, I'd just give you a real quick report on the finance officer school that Ariel and I attended last week. She also attended the HR school, which started on Tuesday and ended half day through Wednesday. And then Wednesday I met her up in Spearfish and we attended together the South Dakota Governmental Finance Officer School. We had a great welcome from the Spearfish Mayor, John Senden. We had a short business meeting. We heard some legislative updates. Our general session speaker was Mike Oster, 30-year Colonel, South Dakota Army National Guard, and he talked about an attitude of excellence, and I really enjoyed him and that talk. We talked about getting the most out of our membership with the league. They got a new website. We all have login information, and a lot of our listserv groups are going to switch to that site as opposed to the Google groups that we've been using in the past. So we got a lot of good information about that update. The first evening, there were some games and music in Spearfish's City Park. I didn't go because I stayed in my room and worked on budget stuff till about 8:30, but I feel much better now that I've got those preliminary worksheets out to all the department heads, and the city administrator is now scheduling the meetings with them. The next morning, we had a partner with Cato talk to us about payroll from A to Z, and we learned some interesting stuff there. More to come. We'll follow up on that. I went to a capital assets panel where I talked with other municipalities that are similar in accounting nature to ours. I heard Rod Horton talk about preparing for an audit, and it's always fun to hear him talk. There was a Years of Service Award election, and I'm at year 10 in my role, so I was recognized for 10 years. Thank you. Not too many of us, a lot of first-year finance officers, but not too many 10-year finance officers in the group. We did hear from Jim Edmond and Erica Combe around the cybersecurity funding initiative and the updates on that. At the last legislative session, the governor approved, or they approved the governor's request for $7 million to bolster the cybersecurity infrastructure for municipalities and counties throughout the state. I'd like to bend Travis's ear a little bit tomorrow after we get done with the budget meeting, Ken, about some of the stuff we talked about on that and kind of use your expertise because we got a lot of good information on that. We want to get back involved with Dakota State and their digital forensic services that they offer. We want to be first in line when the support comes out that will be part of that funding. We talked about work comp claims with Brad Wilson, the administrator, the South Dakota Municipal League Work Comp Group, and I want a coffee cup and the door prize on that one. We talked about municipal elections. We heard from Sarah Frankenstein, an attorney with Gunderson Palmer, and she gave us a lot of updates, and there's a lot of information out there about municipal elections and how, maybe some information about how, misinformation about what's going on nationwide and how South Dakota's election laws differ from some of those things. So that was a great session. And then to end the day on Friday, we talked about comprehensive land use, planning and zoning, and it's kind of a 101 for finance officers, and a lot of it went way over my head, but make some good contacts with some people that have some great information, specifically Todd Case, who is the executive director of the First District Association of Local Governments, and he was very willing and open to share and be available to ask questions. So we're very grateful for the opportunity to go to the training, and a lot of good information was learned. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be able to do that. Another training is tomorrow. That's the SDNL budget workshop. It's in Rapid City, and both Ariel and I will be attending, and I believe Linda and Travis will also be attending. And then as a reminder, we're closed for June 18th. This Wednesday is on holiday, and we'll be back to work on Thursday.
Any questions for Misty? Well, congratulations on your 10 years, and we're looking forward to 30 more.
I'm not quite there yet, but I was recognized for 10 years. Thank you.
All right. A couple things for you. As the south end of our Highway 385 project is finishing up, I want to thank the Keep Hot Springs Beautiful volunteers for all the work they're putting into decorating the completed bump outs along the highway. Along with the mostly completed road surface, parking on the south end, and our historic lights, the different colors and plants the Keep Hot Springs Beautiful volunteers have provided is returning the drive through our downtown to a warm and welcoming experience. Next, I want to talk about the road reconstruction along North River Street and the suspended sidewalk. I've been asked why the highway wasn't widened along North River Street like it was supposed to be. I don't know how or where that understanding started, but North River Street was never intended to be widened. Quite the opposite. It was going to be narrowed to accommodate a federally mandated 6-foot wide sidewalk along the riverside of North River Street. That 6 feet was going to come about by narrowing the driving lanes by 2 feet and narrowing the sidewalk in front of North River Street, the North River Street businesses, on average by about 4 feet. In addition to a narrower and less safe roadway, narrower sidewalk in front of the businesses, the South Dakota Department of Transportation planned to construct a chain link fence in front of the existing flood wall that would have run from the Jennings Bridge to the Minnetonka Bridge. A chain link fence that would have collected trash and debris between that fence and the flood wall and quickly gained the nickname the trash fence. By suspending the sidewalk over the river, the roadway retained its original width. The sidewalk along the business side of North River Street didn't require narrowing, and we didn't get a trash fence. Folks have also asked where the suspended sidewalk will end. It will start at the Jennings Bridge and run north for 1,367 feet and end across from the Mercantile on North River Street. From the north end of the suspended sidewalk, there will be a traditional sidewalk that will continue on to the Minnetonka Bridge. If you have any questions about the road project or want to confirm or dispel something you've heard about the road project, please reach out to City Hall and we'll be glad to give you as complete and accurate an answer as we can. If we can't answer your question, we know who to ask. It's better to be informed and mad than to be mad about something that's based on bad information. So again, I encourage everyone, if you have any questions, please reach out to City Hall. I guarantee you will get an honest, informed answer, and from there, decide what direction you want to go with your emotions. But please don't let gossip that is often very common in small communities inform a decision that may embarrass you when you find out that you're on the wrong side of the right answer. Any questions for me?
Can you make any comment to the slanting of the sidewalk and the safety issues that I've been hearing about the winter time and the slant and maybe wheelchairs going off onto the slant?
The slanting exists, as everyone has seen. That's why the question is out there. At this time, other than acknowledging that it exists, we are working with the state to get that resolved, but there isn't anything beyond that that I can share at this time. But it is being worked.
Great.
All All right, if you don't have any other questions, that brings us to our favorite time of the council meetings. Next on the agenda is an executive session. So if I can get a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion to go into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, 3, legal.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Not sure how long we'll be, but there will be no action taken once we come back from executive session. So I've got us going in at 8:25 or 8:24, Misty?
I have the picture of the mural here. Oh, for crying out loud. It just gets worse.
You're just having a heck of a time over there.
It's got, that whole discussion has me
Well.
flabbergasted.
Hell's not back with us, but we have enough for a quorum.
I think he went to have a cigarette, or he's having a conversation. Maybe he's having a conversation back there.
So let's go ahead and have us reconvene at 9:16.
You can do it after hours.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn for this evening.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.
Y'all too. I hope